Mm. All right, just wanted to get my well, how I do things basically, like because I was people that know me, family members, etc., know that I was homeless for a couple of for years, but actually a couple of years I was sleeping in basements, and not nice basements, basements with rats and stuff, and like hallways, and there was a first couple of months that I was homeless. It was actually October here in New York, and it was horrendous. Honestly, it was fucking cold. It was really bad. I remember that my mind was it was really messed up. Right, it was really messed up. It was I'm not gonna get too much into the details, but it was I couldn't protect my mind. I couldn't push away bad thoughts, basically, even if I wanted to. Like I would just kick thoughts away, punch bad thoughts away, throw bricks and stones at them. You know, but in this case, I couldn't. So somebody would insult me, and I couldn't get that thought out of my head. There's some psychological stuff. I don't know. So something physical that happened to my body, mind, messed up my circulation because when somebody insults you, it tenses you up. It puts your body tense. So it tenses you up, and your circulation it gets bad. It gets worse, right? Because your body's tense. It's not it can't push away the bad things. Things when they aren't pushed away from your mind, they tense it up. They harden it, making circulation bad for you. Like if you grab a tube and you squeeze it, right? Anything that's flowing through it, water, any sort of fluid, air is gonna stop. Or it's really gonna cause for it. It's really gonna cause for it to get through. So yeah, now with the years I've learned that thinking about labor, bricks. I imagine like right because I used to help out in construction a lot. I used to move blocks, just help the guys putting the blocks, cement blocks, and things like that. Trying to learn from that labor really helps toughen out the mind. I still agree. I still know. I don't agree. I know that you have to learn how to fight. That's not no. You have to learn how to attack, right? Not just defend you. When people say, "Oh, defend yourself," that means like the best way to say it is attack. You gotta learn how to attack. You learn how to defend yourself to keep your body safe, keep you from harm and stuff. But you gotta learn how to attack too. That's very, 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 very fundamental. That's actually you have to do it. You do not do it. Mentally you're gonna be messed up. And the thing about evil people do not need a moral justification for being bad, for bullying, right? So you really need to be able to understand that in a conflict, they're thinking about destroying you, like mentally torturing you or killing you. So you have to understand in your mind if it's psychological battle, you have to attack, call them names, in your mind. Let's say you have to be able to respond. Every attack they throw at you has to have a response to you. You have to be able to respond. Sorry, excuse me. You have to be able to respond and attack them back. You have to be able to throw shit back at them, right? And the moral justification is that you're protecting your mind and your body, right? That's really it. And they're not gonna stop. You have to be able to chase them away, right? And to toughen up your mind um, in a city like this is basically just a lot of mental practice. You have to go out there. You have to obviously avoid danger. That is my main thing. It's one thing. Yeah, avoid danger, but danger is inevitable, right? And no matter where you are, so you have to be able to respond. I say learn literacy, rap from the old days. I used to listen to it because it helped, right? Learn some words, learn some thises and stuff. You have to be able to, like, because your mind's gonna come up with that. Like, what if the guy pulls a gun out on me? Learn martial arts. Learn how to, even if it's. I learned a lot through movies and stuff. Videos now. Thank God they have a lot of videos of how to take guns away from people. Knives, things of the such. Enable them, right? Just leave them. I don't say kill them. That's but you have to be able to take the gun away with them. Leave them immobile for a couple of minutes in order for you to be able to run away, right? for enough time for you to run away. Being a good runner also helps. If you're gonna take someone out, that you have no choice, when it comes to that, it comes to that, and you have to be able to do that too. And I learned that from an Italian mafia man that I saw on YouTube. He said, because the host asked him, right? He said, "Do you feel any remorse?" He said, "No," and he said, "It's in those situations, it's either me or him, or me or her, end the story." And it's true. You cannot have a conversation. You cannot think about, what if I would have said this, that. They're not stopping. They're going with the full intent, like a Terminator, just to kill. So when it comes to taking someone out, you have to these days it's really dangerous. So you have to be able to you have to be able to be ready if it comes to that, and know that it's morally okay, right? If the person is actually trying to take your life, right, where you could actually prove it and be like, oh, okay, they had me pinned down. They were trying to rob me, and they put a 12-inch knife, or they put out a gun, and I had no choice, But yeah, and teach morality, teach people how to work. Main thing, labor, like, honor, all these things that haven't been taught in so many years, decades, I would say. It's a bunch of retards with no brains, which is embarrassing. You have to learn how to, people these days. You have to learn how to feel shame, right? And like it takes a lot of work, but the ones that want to change are going to change, and they are going to listen to the teachings. Those that don't, well, wrath of God is always there, and God always sends people. There's always but like individually speaking, I don't want to get into all that, but individually speaking, just learn how to defend yourself, right? Protect yourself, attack. Let people see your intent in your voice and in your energy, right? And in order for you to get that, you have to be, like Bruce Lee said, you have to train so that when you want it, it's there. So watch videos, learn, even if you have an office job, learn labor, right? And it's going to learn how to live. Let's say in prison. Let's say you ever land in prison, learn how to survive there, from like talking to people that live there, learning how to survive and thrive in environments where it's very it's a lot of pressure. It'll help you. You have to fight to defend yourself. You have to be able to be a person that they don't see you as a person. They see you as a predator, as a tiger. And you're not attacking. But you will if you have to. If you're attacked, if you're attack without a cause, basically. Well, don't provoke, the main thing. And you're doing your thing, and there's always robbers, there's always people these days just looking to prove themselves and preying on the weak. So that's the thing, the legit people that are working, not just working, people that are morally have good intentions, right? Not hypocrites, not fake clowns, right? But not people that are just dumb and trying to manipulate, just being dumb, and cowards, like if you're not a coward, if you're not, being any of that, learn how to defend yourself, learn how to protect yourself. Watch these videos, learn labor, and whenever a weak thought comes through, think about labor, and it'd be putting cement, be it working in whatever your mind works for, pushing rocks. That's one of the things that I used to think about. I've fortified my mind a lot. Painting, I imagine fighting someone that's ferocious, with the ferocity that I had, or that I have, right, and fighting and things like that, There's weightlifting, push-ups, these things, Reading the Bible is very, very important. Learning how to decipher it. It's that's warrior culture. That is not like the Christians these days. They're fake, right? They speak too soft. They don't have that bravery in them. They just talk a lot of shit. And they're not ready to defend themselves. Which is not. It's just not apropos. I don't want to get into all that, but in this society, you have to be able to defend yourself, protect yourself, your mind and your body, right? So that's my advice for today. See how it goes. Honestly, I'm tired of all this, stuff, ratchet ass stuff that I see on TV. It's disgusting. It's cowardness. So the brave ones have to learn how to defend themselves, how to attack, and go with good intentions, work and grow morality. Stop thinking that, oh, it's New York, oh, heaven's gonna come. No, no, no. As long as we're on this earth, it's gonna be, you know, there's gonna be robbers, like cops and robbers, right? There's gonna be morally good people, morally bad people. Morally good people get weak. The morally bad people take over. Easy as that. So learn this and continue learning and stop expecting things to happen just because you're a good person, in quotes, right? No, you have to make things happen, right? Do what you can, you know, start with your mind, your body, and little by little, or a lot by lot, put a lot of effort into it. Whatever a lot is to you, your mind is sweating, your body's sweating, you're trying to learn these things, how to toughen up your mind. It's gonna help you. It's gonna help you. You're gonna feel better, right? Because walking around soft, it's just we're seeing the results of it, right? They're tragic. They're really bad, right? So, honesty, integrity, bravery, attack, learn to labor, learn how to defend yourself, learn how to use your body, learn how to take away weapons, learn how to use weapons, right? Do not provoke, do not look for trouble, but be ready to respond to it, right? In an efficient way, in a moral way, right? You can't talk about it, you gotta act on it. All right, guys, later.